All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? It's Friday. We're back with the crew you know and expect. My guy Hamwich here munching away with that gray beard he's rocking there. Got the nice little golf polo on. He probably got dusted on the course or maybe did the thing called work on a Friday afternoon here. I don't know who the hell does that stuff. But what's going on, Ham? How's your week been, man? Ready to break it down for you. Big, massive 14-gamer on tap tonight.
Oh, 14 gamer. My guy Pojian's not in the Discord. He wants that porn stash back, Nate. So got to rock that. Hey, worked hard all week. Oh, yeah. Pop the top right now, baby. Just dive into this 14 gamer. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll. He's popping tabs over there. We're trying to pop some winners here tonight in the baseball streets. Ben Jizzy in here. Takedown. Hey, we're looking for some takedowns tonight. Shippers, if you will. Michael W. Parabay. Michael Peterson, Michael W. We got Michael Squared in the chat. Everybody else, if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And guess what, Ham? Guess what tomorrow brings? Week 0 of the college football. Football's back, baby. Fall in the air. Played some golf this morning. It was about 70, like nice little crisp fall weather here in Wisconsin. A little taste of that action. If that doesn't that doesn't feel like football, I don't know what else does, man. Anything to add in terms of football, but man, couldn't be more excited over here. Football's back. Huge time of the year. We had our football meeting yesterday with the crew over here at the Nation, getting things dialed in, ready for college football, which kicks off tomorrow, and then obviously NFL shortly right here around the corner, man. No, nothing to add. Ham's not stoked about football season there. I don't know.
I didn't know you were asking me a question, but no, I'm very stoked. You know, you got that game in Dublin tomorrow. You got the Criminals playing Georgia Tech. Should be good. Our guy DJ's already done the college football video, and man, our football package. I mean, our football package is literally $3.99. That gets you NFL and college. I was on another site today, Nades. $3.99 just for their college football alone. It's mind-boggling to me. If you're not a member at the Nation, head on over. DJen and those boys over there in the college football streets, they just absolutely kill it. Then you know you got Hoop and Tambo on our side. I mean, we're ready to rock and roll. I'm fired up, baby. I can't wait. Me and you doing that Sunday night show again. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's take a look to see what we got over here at the Nation in terms of football. Roll the video.
I just checked my calendar, and you know what? It's August, which means one thing. Football's back, and if you can't get excited for football in August, I got nothing for you, big guy. The big guy is excited. Guy in the back is excited. SHIPIT Nation is excited, and darn it, you better be excited too. So let's get started. Everything that SHIPIT Nation has to offer you in 2024. I hope you saw what an incredible year it was at SHIPIT Nation in 2023 for NFL season. And if you're thinking to yourself, I want all that again, well, don't worry. You're going to get it all and more. We have an entire team over here at SHIPIT of just the sweatiest tryhards you've ever met who are ready to offer you every single thing you need for every single slate, including the stack rankings, the DVP rankings, slate plans, player pools, every single thing. And oh yeah, if you don't know, all the stuff that I did at my site last year, DGen75, is now over at SHIPIT. I told you were going to get everything we offered and then more. So it's no surprise that at SHIPIT Nation, they had 3 Millionaire Maker winners last year, over 24 six-figure winners, and a handful of game-changing hits from our community. But what is it that I'm bringing up from DGen75 that's so special? Well, first of all, this thing called the Stone. If you don't know, I invented this for college football to try to help everybody, and now it has just turned into the best tool in all of DFS. You want my ownership and my projections. You want to know who's a good cash play, who's a good GPP play. I put it all into one place called The Stone. I do this for PGA. I do this for college football. We do this for NFL. And here's the best part. You get all of this in one place in addition to everything that SHIPIT Nation is already offering. You're still getting your Tambo, your Hoop, your Marley, your Title, your Hamwich. All of those guys, the sweatiest tryhards, are now there, and you get this in addition to the tools. And here's the best part. None of it is an upsell. It's all the same price, if not cheaper than everybody else in the community and you're getting double the tools. This is what we do at SHIPIT. We want you spending your money on your contests and not on your content. So if that NFL stone caught your eye, let me tell you about the college football stone. I know a lot of you are saying college football is not even legal in 20 states. Yeah, but that means it's still legal in 30. And I am telling you, college football DFS is the next sport that's coming up. If you're intimidated by it, you don't know anything about it, well, don't worry. I have a stone right here that tells you what's a good cash play, what's a good GPP play, ownership, projections, everything you need, just like we offer for NFL. This was a big part of the merger when DJ came over, is I wanted to bring this over to SHIPIT Nation so people can see how fun college football DFS is. And you're thinking to yourself, man, I don't want to pay no $300 for no college football package. Well, don't worry. We don't separate our packages. We only have a football package. NFL and college football are one package, and here's the best part. Even if you just want to play NFL, our package is already cheaper than all of the competition, and you're basically just getting college football for free. So why in the hell would you not want it? It is an awesome tool. I have the sweatiest try-hard team behind me. College football DFS is a great little addition, and we don't upcharge it because, once again, put your money into your contests and not into your content. So what is this great price, and how does it compare to the competition? Well, let's just put up a chart, Bob. Here you go. You can see that we don't break it into a bunch of packages. We just have a football package, which includes both NFL and college football for $299. Here's the best part. You sign up before September 5th. We're going to give you free run of the entire website, MMA, PGA, MLB. You can be doing all of that stuff all the way up till September 5th just on us, because that's what we do to take care of our members. Not to mention, when you look at this, just start comparing the price. You are literally going to be saving hundreds if not thousands of dollars during the season. That is things you could be putting into your DraftKings and FanDuel lineups and not wasting, giving it to your touts and paying for shit that you don't need. Pay for what you deserve and get quality. That is what we offer here at SHIPIT Nation. 2024 has been a magical year for SHIPIT Nation. The merger between SHIPIT Nation and DGen has gone better than we could have ever expected. Just look at the success across NASCAR and PGA, MMA, MLB. All of the sports out there have been incredible, and now we're going to carry it over to this football season with NFL and college football, and we're going to blow your hair back by giving you the best product at the best price out there. We're also going to teach you about sustainability, about how to play DFS sustainably so you can be there long enough to hit those wins, to get those big hits. We don't care if it's $50, $500, $5,000. We want you to play long enough until you can hit it, and we can do that by giving you great tools at an affordable price, and that is our mission here at SHIPIT Nation. Come be a part of the most incredible community out there. Come be a part of a place that teaches you how to win, and come be a part of a place that celebrates your wins and not fucking moderators' wins. It's been awesome. 2024, the year of SHIPIT Nation. Come join the nation. It's going to be special in 2024. I'm out, you motherfathers.
Well, let's go. It's going to be a special year. Football, like I said, college football kicks off tomorrow. NFL shortly around the corner, but Hamwich, man, that doesn't get you pumped up. I don't know what will. Maybe 14 games on an MLB slate on a Friday afternoon here with great prize pools in the DraftKings and the FanDuel streets. I'm going to go ahead and add my screen here, do a little screen share. Let me change this. We should be ready to rock. Can everybody see that? You can see that all right, I believe.
Yeah, we're good.
Showcasing some of our tools over here at the Nation. We're going to use the Shiptimizer today here to break down this slate. We're going to do what we always do, Hamwich. There's 14 games to talk about. That means 28 potential pitchers here to go with. And if you look at projected ownership, I mean, if you just sort by projected ownership here, the slate seems to be focused around two guys, Rodon and Chris Sale. But, man, that means there's 26 other pitchers on this slate that are going to be significantly lower owned on here. Let's talk about it. Let's go 8K and above. A couple guys I want to throw out to you guys. Number one, obviously Chris Sale. Number two, Carlos Rodon. What are you going to do with those two? They're both going to be 35 to 45, 50% owned, those two, depending on the contest. These ownerships over here are strictly based on the flagship, the main $15 contest, that big, massive GPP. I think it is actually the $5 or $8 here tonight. But nonetheless, 11K, 11-1 for Chris Sale. Luis Castillo, who I think is very interesting, gets a great pitcher's ballpark out there in Seattle against a high strikeout Giants team. He's sandwiched between those guys. He's going to be pretty low owned overall. I mean, I'd be surprised if he surpassed 20% ownership, but he could. Hunter Brown, not going to get much ownership against the Baltimore Orioles, right? Tough matchup there overall. There's a lot of good name pitchers that we typically would play on other slates that guys just don't want to get to here. Obviously, a lot of these guys up at the top do draw tougher matchups overall, but go ahead and break down this top tier range in terms of pitching. Where are you going, man?
Yeah, man. So many pitchers. Obviously, like you said, 28. I mean, Chris Sale, he's pretty much matchup proof, and he has a pretty good matchup tonight. I know you notated in your slate playing this Washington team. Doesn't strike out a whole lot on the road, and $1,300 separates Chris Sale, the next highest price. He's gonna have to have a big boy score to get up there. So I'm with you. I mean, obviously, if you're playing 20 teams, you're gonna have him, but maybe single entry, 3 max, you might want to fade. I think that's a good call on you. And then, I mean, Carlos Rodon. I mean, goodness gracious, Nades, I'm torn on him. I mean, freaking Patrick Corbin yesterday was dealing versus this same team. I mean, the Rockies are bad. They're really bad versus lefties. And that lineup is just littered with Ks up and down. I mean, 2024 Carlos Rodon is scary, but I think he's certainly in play, certainly going to be, and rightfully so. I mean, this Rockies team is horrible. Luis Castillo, once again, torn. I love the ballpark. I love the matchup, but his K stuff just hasn't been there this season like we had hoped. Hunter Brown, theoretically has a tough matchup, but those Orioles, they couldn't hit last night. They haven't really been hitting the last couple weeks. I think he's in play tonight at super low ownership. Then you got, Tanner Bibby. I mean, once again, the Rangers don't strike out, I don't think. Evaldi, I mean, the Guardians have just been so abysmal. Got 1 hit yesterday. Bassett taking on the Angels. I think a lot of these guys are certainly in play, but I would say my favorites up here are still going to be Chris Sale, Carlos Rodon, and then give me some Bassett against the Angels is kind of where I'm going. And then kind of my one, I guess, curveball that I want to throw at you, Nate. It's interested to see what you think about this guy, but JP Sears taking on your beloved Brewers, $8,300. Brewers been very bad versus left-handed pitching, no power against left-handed pitching, and we got a ballpark upgrade. I really like JP Sears at $8,300.
Yeah, no. First and foremost, excellent breakdown there. Obviously, we're just hitting on the 8K range. You can make a case for a lot of these guys. You already alluded to it. I'm going to start with Chris Sale. I get the reasoning, right? Chris Sale is projected to be 40 to 50% owned, depending on the contest, for a reason. He arguably has the highest ceiling out of any pitcher on the slate, realistically. That's also why he's priced almost $2,000 more than anybody else on the slate. But just looking at the matchups here, man, it's just tough. I mean, the Nationals, the Braves, it's pretty good hitting weather there in Truist Park. It's a pretty good ballpark overall for bats. This Nationals team, yeah, they don't have a ton of power at all against left-handed pitching, but they also don't strike out. A 17.5% strikeout rate on the road this season for this projected lineup. Chris Sale, I get it, right? It's a matchup of a very elite strikeout arm, right? 31%, 31.5% he's displayed in Truist Park this year at home for the Braves against a team that just doesn't strike out against lefties. They also have a lot of stolen base upside, right? CJ Abrams is going to run. A lot of these guys are going to run. Jacob Young's hitting the baseball right now. He just had a bomb yesterday, or James Wood, just had a bomb yesterday. He's hitting well. This team overall can be pretty sneaky, can be pretty pesky. And 11-1 in single entry stuff, I think I'm going to be somewhat underweight on Chris Sale just due to the price, right? I like some very expensive offenses we're going to get to here tonight. And overall, the slate shapes up to be ownership outside of pitcher realistically doesn't matter. Even at pitcher, because so many offenses are going to be so spread out that ownership realistically on the slate, anytime you have a 14, 13, 12-game slate even, majority of the time ownership really doesn't matter too much. So I get the reasoning for Chris Sale. I just don't love the price. I don't love the strikeout matchup. He could obviously destroy the slate. He's got the highest strikeout and the highest K prop, I believe, on the entire slate. That's the reasoning for me. But not to mention, I just like Luis Castillo and Carlos Rodon so much more. So if I'm going to eat one of the chalk, I'm going to go to Carlos Rodon. I mean, these Rockies looked absolutely horrible yesterday in the same spot. I mean, they just can't hit lefties. They strike out a ton. They're outside of Coors Field. It is good hitting weather in Yankee Stadium, but again, they still got to put the baseball on the bat on the baseball. Rodon's been great at home. I like the Yankees bats a ton against Freeland on the other side. He should have run support behind him. He's looked great. And I really like Castillo, Luis Castillo in that pivot. I get it, right? You're saying his strikeout stuff hasn't been there to what we would like to see, but a 27.5% strikeout rate at home over the course of the season for Castillo now gets a Giants team coming to town with over a 27% strikeout rate on the road this season. It is a good pitcher's ballpark. If you look over the last 3 years in this park for Seattle, it's been the best pitcher's ballpark amongst the last 3 years. I actually like a pitcher's duel in that game. We're going to talk about the cheap guy on the other side of Castillo, but I really like Castillo. I think Castillo is my favorite guy at his anticipated ownership up in this top tier range. I think he can match the Chris Sales, the Rodons of the world in terms of strikeout upside in the matchup. So I really like him. Rodon is good. I like him. I get your reasoning with JP Sears. It's just, man, this Brewers team, super aggressive. I get it. They're not great against lefties, but Sears just has not looked good in terms of strikeouts, especially at home. I get the ballpark there, but on a 14-game slate, 8-3, I don't think I can pay $8,300 for a guy, JP Sears, who showed a 16% strikeout rate at home this season against a Brewers team that just doesn't strike out a ton. Yeah, they don't have a ton of power, but I mean, they're super aggressive. They start, if they walk, right, they're going to steal. You can get behind quickly. So I'm out on JP Sears. I won't fault anybody there. I think the other guy I'd have interest in this range would be Tanner Beebe. Here is the only other guy in this top tier range that I would look at. The reason being, these Rangers, there is some strikeouts in that lineup. Tanner's look great at home. The Guardians overall, I just don't want to play Eovaldi on the other side because the Guardians don't strike out there. So if I had to pick another guy, it would be Tanner here in this range. But realistically, if I'm spending over $9K, I'm going to get up to Castillo. I'm going to get up to Rodon or all the way up to Chris Sale. Otherwise, just jump down into this next tier because I think there's a lot of pitchers below 8K that are definitely reasonable and in pretty decent matchups here on the slate. So let's take a look at some of them here. Below 8K, I'm going to throw a couple names to you, Hamwich, here. Aaron Savali, number one, on the other side of your guy JP Sears at 7,200. Arguably, he's had better strikeout stuff over the course of the season. At least metrics say that. He's got a good strikeout matchup, a better strikeout matchup overall, in my opinion, here against these Athletics. The ballpark should help contain some of the Athletics' power there. Savali just has limited hard contact all season long for the Brewers here. He's 7-2. Talk on him for me. And then talk on Hayden Birdsong, Montero on the other side. Those are two cheapies that I have some interest in. I think they're both in good spots. Obviously, Montero, 6,400, coming off a good game, gets the matchup against the White Sox, which we've been picking on all season long. And then Birdsong, who has another elite strikeout matchup in that pitcher's ballpark. Despite some of the power that the Mariners do have, they do have a ton of strikeout upside. Birdsong displaying roughly a 30% strikeout rate on the road this season.
Yeah, I think this range is loaded. I think that there's a lot of ways to go, and some maybe that we weren't looking at. But as gross, I'm going to start at the bottom and kind of work my way up. But as gross as it sounds, Kyle Hendricks, 6,100. Against the Flatfish in Miami. I mean, I think he can get 15 at 6,100. And it's a great pivot off of Montero, who, I mean, I think Montero Nades is, top 5 for me tonight. He looked very good his last time out against the Yankees. $6,400. You notated in your slate plan. Wind blowing in Chi-Town. Shout out to my boy Hebrew Cheetah in the live final in Chicago this weekend too, and Scarface. But I mean, I love Montero tonight. I think that's a great play. Birdsong's another one in a great matchup. Savali that you mentioned. Two others that I want to talk about. One is Ryan Nelson going into Beantown. I love Boston's bats too. Don't get me wrong. And Nelson's not great, but when you look at the last 4 starts, 21, 28, 12, and 35, I think he can do it. He'll be 0% owned, maybe 0.1% owned. So I think it's a great GPP pivot if you're not playing Boston, but I mean, Boston is great. And then the last one, Nades, I want to get your take on this, is Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller for the Dodgers has been horrendous, but gets to take on this Rays team that's been just as horrendous. And we know Bobby Miller has 38 in his arsenal. Do you have any interest in Bobby Miller at 7,800 taking on this Rays team that has just been really bad?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting call out. Bobby Miller's in his limited sample at home and in Dodger Stadium has shown strikeout ability, right? But at 7,800, I just think I'd rather get up to the range above him if I'm spending that much, because you alluded to it, right? I didn't mention Kyle Hendricks, but that's a good point, right? We've picked on Miami all year. Hendricks, not a huge strikeout arm there, but it's more the matchup. It's more the ballpark. I really like Montero a ton. I really like Birdsong a ton. I like Savale a ton. It's just hard for me to click a guy that has shown ups and downs. Not only that, you deal with the Roberts and limited in the pitchers out there for this Dodgers squad. To pay 7,800 there, I get it. It is a strikeout matchup there for the Rays. So, I mean, I don't hate it in tournaments. Again, there's 14 teams on the slate, 28 pitchers to choose from, or 14 games, 28 pitchers to choose from. A lot of people are going to have different pitchers. Ownership outside of the top two, right, in Chris Sale and Rodon are going to be low owned. So anybody you go outside of those two guys, trust your gut. So, hey, if you're saying you got to read on Bobby Miller, I wouldn't hate you for it. Personally, I don't think I get there in one of my two teams, but I do think in tournaments that is an interesting play. We've picked on Tampa the last week and a half, 2 weeks, at least I have, with opposing pitchers. So that is a good call that you bring out there. I'm with you on Birdsong. I'm with you on Montero. Really like those two guys a ton. I think it's very interesting and viable to play both of those guys in the same lineup. 6,600, 6,400. You can play literally any bats in the world you want. There is some high-priced bats and stacks that are in pretty good matchups overall that can make it work. And, I mean, I already talked about it, right? Yeah, these guys up at the top have tons of upside, but some of these other guys have pretty tough matchups that you could see these two lower pitchers or two lower priced pitchers get you 20 DraftKings points or even 15 to 18 and be plenty good if the bats come through on the slate. So I do think there's a lot of cheap options down here. We talked pitching. That's a lot of pitching. Obviously, we're not going to go through every guy, but Hamwich, go ahead and rank your top four for the people here.
Yeah, I'll give you four, then I'll give you my favorite cheapie. But yeah, number one for me would be Rodon. I think he leads the slate tonight in fantasy points. Chris Sale would be number two for me. Castillo, number three. I'm going to go, give me the Basset Hound, number four. And then kind of my cheapie that I like, I'm going to go Bobby Miller. I like Bobby Miller a lot tonight, especially on FanDuel if you wanted to stack those Yankees bats. But give me some Bobby Miller's I guess he's cheap, guys, under 8K. So I like him a lot tonight.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown there. I'm with you. I'm going to put Rodon above Sale at the price point, the discount there. I'm going Castillo number two. I'm going Birdsong 3 with the salary savings there for Birdsong. And then I really like Montero as well. So Montero is going to be 4. Like I said, I like the cheaper pitchers. I like grabbing a Rodon or a Castillo. One of those cheaper guys is kind of how I'm looking to build teams here tonight. So, again, a little off the wall. There's a million guys you can pick from, but I'm trying to simplify it as much as possible and just go in with the metrics and the matchups that I like the most here. Hammer, we're going to jump over and go game by game, and I'm going to share a new tab here, a different tab, just to show the people what our stone, obviously in that video, they showed what the college football stone and the NFL stone from our guy DGen. I'm going to go ahead and share the MLB stone, the first two pictures or the first two games that we're going to break through. The first one is a good one. It's the Rockies in Yankee Stadium. Yankees, Aaron Judge, hashtag Mr. Home Run himself. The dude just launches bombs. Hit another bomb last night. Now gets $1,000 or $100 decrease in price when Mr. Kyle Freeland, a lefty, which, hey, if anybody knows baseball, MLB DFS, they know Aaron Judge hits left-handed pitching very good. Throw it over to you here. This stone, this is a pivotal piece of my research. It's pretty much a one-stop shop for everything in terms of MLB DFS. It's home road splits, numbers. Obviously, anybody out there in the chat that understands baseball, or even if you don't, green is good, red is bad, but let's go ahead and walk the people through how we use the MLB Stone over here at SHIPIT Nation, which does come with every membership for all sports premium access to break down these first two games here. Number one, the Rockies and the Yankees. Where are you going for bats, Hamwich?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I just did want to address this, Andrew. No interest in Festa for me. I just think There's better pitchers around the same price point with more upside. So no interest for me in Festa. But yeah, no, this Stone is the Stone Cold Nuts. It's the best in the business. You don't need me to sit on here and tell you to play the Yankees tonight. You see my boy, the Chiz kid, Jazz Chisholm, batting fifth. He's back in the lineup tonight. They're great plays. I mean, you could see all the green littered in the Yankees. But Nades, I don't think he's going 3 dongs tonight. And I love me some Carlos Rodon. But I love me some Michael Toglia as a one-off, I think, projected fifth. Profiles very nicely against Rodon. I'll be betting him to hit a home run tonight. I like me some Toglia, whatever his name is, to do some damage. Hopefully not against Rodon, hopefully late in the game. But I do like him as a one-off. Obviously, I wouldn't do it against Rodon teams, but if you're fading Rodon on one of your teams, I like him. And then, load up those Yankees. I like what you said a minute ago. Sorry, real quick. Getting those 2 cheap pitchers, Hayden, Birdsong, and Montero, and then just firing away with Judge and Soto, who are just mashing the baseball right now. Fun to watch.
Yeah, and I will say Soto is going to be pretty low owned, lefty, which obviously you see here numbers-wise. 74 plate appearances at home in Yankee Stadium this season, left-handed versus lefty. 418 expected ISO, whereas all your power comes from. Just a 9% strikeout rate, which looks pretty good to me at that price point. Lefty hitting second here. He's going to be really low owned. I think this Yankee stack outside of a Gleyber Torres is going to be low owned in general. I mean, Aaron Judge is projected for less than 10% ownership due to the nature of the slate, due to the size of his price point. But I already talked to you when we talked pitching. I like a lot of those guys below 8K in terms of pitching. I'll go and sign up for a guy that's got 49 home runs on the year already in Aaron Judge at sub 10% ownership with wind blown out in Yankee Stadium, about 75 degrees out there as well, against one of the worst bullpens in baseball, and Kyle Freeland, who's not free money Freeland outside of Coors Field. So I like the Yankees a ton. Yankees are my favorite stack of the night. I'm seeing roughly 5 to 6, 7% ownership in terms of a stack on the Yankees. Glaber's a great play. I've been playing who obviously isn't in the lineup today. You see the confirmed lineup here. I would liked Peraza, but he's not in there. But you get a guy, DJ LeMahieu. I know you give me shit every time I mention his name, but at 2,600, he's typically hit lefties pretty good over his career. Jose Trevino, cheap catcher at 3,200. He's got good numbers over the course of the season, home and road splits in there against lefties. So I like the Yankees a ton. I'm not seeing a ton of ownership go to them due to the price points there, but like I said, I like some of those cheap pitchers. So I will definitely have some Yankee stacks on my teams here tonight.
Who's
on
batting
the Rockies
for the Yankees tonight? Sorry.
Who?
Who's batting 8th for the Yankees?
This is confirmed right here. Alex Verdugo. Yeah. Never never Verdugo. I'll tell you that right now for free.
Do not play Alex Verdugo.
Yeah,
that kid sucks. Sniffing all the red in there. He's got a .56 expected ISO. Why is Alex Verdugo still in the majors? And why is he playing for the Yankees? This guy is absolutely trash. So bad, man.
Yeah, and our guy Optimal says, I think it's cool y'all giving us a preview so we can see exactly what we're paying for. That's what we're about over here at the Nation. That's why I fired this up and did some screen share. I'm going to screen share our hitter and pitcher rankings as well, just to showcase you guys, hey, we know there's a million other sites across the industry where you can sign up, you can get content, but I just want to show behind the paywall what our premium members get over here at the Nation. And we're the cheapest all-in rate in the industry for all sports. We have a stone right here. As you can see, stone for MLB. PGA has a stone. NFL has a stone. College football has a stone. NHL is coming around. It's going to have a stone. NBA, we got everything. The stone with the merger for DGen75 and his crew coming over. We have made the stone for all sports, which is a one-stop shop, right? You can see implied run totals these teams have, what the Vegas odds are, what the time of the game is. We have the projected lineups here in the early morning so you can get a look in that show the numbers. When the lineup is confirmed, it turns the green so you can quickly see it. You can see the pitcher stats in here. These are Kyle Freeland's year-long stats on the road, not home road splits, just the road, because obviously the Rockies are in Yankee Stadium here tonight. Same thing for Rodon. These numbers display his stats in Yankee Stadium on the season. So overall, one-stop shop. I use this as a Bible to help build my teams and just overall help find my stacks, right? The more green you see, you can look at lineup totals, right? Expected ISO. Well, the Yankees have an expected ISO of 199 or 191 as a team. That means they got a lot of power. Obviously, when you got Judge and Soto in your lineup, that's going to help. But you can see they don't strike out a ton versus left-handed pitching at home. That's good. When you stack up a team in DFS, you don't want a team that strikes out a lot, right? Because strikeouts obviously kill rallies, etc. So wanted to showcase a little bit. We're going to showcase one more game here, the Astros and the Orioles. Not going to give away everything for free, but at least give you guys a peek behind the curtain. Again, we do have NFL 50 as the promo code right now. If you go to SHIPITNation.com, you go to the main page and you hit join now or click the banner at the top of the screen that says NFL package. $2.99 a year covers both football or both NFL and college football, but not to mention you get access to all of our MLB content, our PGA content, our MMA content until September 5th as well for no additional cost. Hamwich, let's take it to the next game. The Astros.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Tyler, we got to have some form of bet. I mean, I've shit on Verdugo so bad. Warren thinks he's going to – Nades, what can we do if Verdugo hits a home run that Ham will do? What can we do? Do a little –
I mean, I think you got to – I think if Verdugo hits a home run here tonight, lefty, or even against that bullpen, I think you got to stake Mr. Warren Tyler in DraftKings or FanDuel in, let's say, the 25 single entry or something like that, or the 50 single entry or something like that.
Yeah,
because
so I'll one-up you. Warren, if Verdugo, I hope that somebody record this. If Verdugo hits a bomb, I'm staking you in the 121 single entry on Monday. Mark that down. Verdugo's not hitting a home run. If he does, you got a free ticket to the 121 on DK come Monday.
There you go. Ham, a man of the freaking people. Throwing it back to you, Ham. We're in Camden, Orioles, and the Astros. The Astros get a guy by the name of Cade Povich. Hashtag no idea who the hell he is. I like the Astros here. Not going to get a lot of ownership overall. You see they got pretty good numbers on the road this season against left-handed pitching. Mr. Bregman continues to just absolutely mash a baseball. Their prices are up there. Jordan, lefty, going to be very low owned, especially amongst the Judge, the Sotos, the Stantons of the world there. Not to mention the KC bats. We're going to talk about the Tigers, etc. I think this is an interesting game here. It is good hitting conditions in Camden. Overall, Povich is not any good. Hunter Brown is a good real-life pitcher, as you can see here by the numbers, but look at the Orioles team, 20% strikeout rate and an ISO better than the Yankees against right-handed pitching here. This could be a sneaky spot for both of these teams, but I do like the Astro stacks here tonight. Break it down, talk to the people here.
I don't care if it's Cade Povich. I don't care if it's Mari Povich. I'm not playing these Astros tonight. You don't even know who Mari Povich is, Nades, but I'm not playing these Astros. Maybe a Yordong one-off, and then Hunter Brown's too good of a pitcher, Nades. I'm going to pick on pitchers that aren't any good, and Hunter Brown's good. Orioles are good, especially at home, especially against righties, but, man, they've been struggling. I'm going to take my chances that Hunter Brown's not going to be the one. I mean, Spaghetti last night limited him to 0 runs. So, yeah, no Orioles for me. Yordong one-off would be the only thing that I would do.
Yeah, we differ a little bit there as well. I think Zach Denzo here, 2,300 first base. I think he's an interesting value guy there. Yainer Diaz, I think, is a good play. Bregman. I think the Astros are a sneaker stack than people are giving them credit here tonight. Let's jump to the next game here, the Angels and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are going to pick up a decent amount of ownership here on the slate, despite no Vladdy Daddy in that lineup who's been absolutely mashing the baseball, but so has this entire Blue Jays team, as I alluded to in the slate plan here. Over the last 10 days, this kid over here, this Jack, has made 4 starts and has 7 total strikeouts in 4 major league starts here. Now faces a team that's implied to score over 5 runs. They're going to get ownership, but realistically, ownership in terms of offense doesn't matter. And you got a very, 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 very cheap stack. The highest priced bat is Mr. Springer at 4,500. You have 2 priced pitchers that everybody wants to play in Rodon and Chris Sale. I think they're going to look to this Blue Jays team for sure amongst the Tigers as a 5-man stack to go with that. I would be cognizant and worrisome. to go in, press Rodon, press Chris Sale, and 5-man either the Blue Jays or the Tigers, especially the Blue Jays at these salaries. Talk to me. Any Blue Jays interest, chalky Blue Jays typically isn't good for you, but they have been mashing the baseball as of late. And then any Angels here against Mr. Basset Hound himself.
Yeah, real quick, without looking it up, can anybody in the chat tell me who Maury Povich is? Maybe I'm showing my age, Nades. Don't look it up, Nades. I see you looking it up. Someone tell me who Maury Povich is, please. But, yeah, no Angels for me. I like Bassett a lot tonight. Angels, they're right behind the White Sox in getting those clubs ready for Cancun coming up here in about a month. And then, yeah, you said it. Chalky Jays are never fun. No Vlad. I'm going to pass on this game. Nades, no bats from either side for me. Not even George Springer, who doubled down the other night.
Yeah, I will say a Springer, a Horwitz, a Kirk mini stack looks pretty good to me, obviously by the stone here. But when I see a lot of red in a stack, another way you can use the stone and our tools over here, when I see a lot of red, but not only that, I look at this hitter rankings number, this column over here. You only have 2 hitters ranked in the top 100. It's very hard for me to put on a 14-game slate my money behind a team like this. Obviously, this is metrics, this is numbers, but, I mean, we're at 160-plus plate appearances here, 90, 50, 78, 82, right? Plate appearances over the course of the season against right-handed pitching. I get, Jack, this kid is terrible. He has 0 strikeout ability overall. It's just hard for me to full 5-man stack a team that has a lot of power, not a lot of power here overall. And the hitters aren't ranked very good over here in our hitter rankings. But I do think a mini stack is interesting, right? The Springers, the Varshos, the Horwitz, the Kirks. I would kind of stand to these top. Ernie Clement, I think, is a good option as well. He just doesn't strike out. Hit a home run yesterday, I believe. Second or third base and shortstop eligible, I think, is an interesting play. But like I said, outside of that, I'm not going to get to this game in terms of the Angels and the Blue Jays here. How much? And I want to showcase one other thing here. Our hitter and pitcher rankings here. You want to talk to the people at all in terms of what these look like in terms of how you use it at all. Giving another little peek behind the curtain here for the people. I got the pitcher rankings up on the screen. Obviously, you can see right the top 2 pitchers that we alluded to. Surprise, surprise. Also, our top ranked pitchers, but you can obviously filter this by the slates, right? You can filter by the ranks, the teams, everything. Talk to the people on how you use these rankings over at our SHIPIT Nation.
This is something obviously we utilize every day. Pitcher rankings, hitter rankings too, which you're going to pull up in a minute. We rank every single batter on the slate, and you just come in here, break it down by the slate you want, and kind of see who you're on, see what you're on. Then this is not somebody's opinion. This is the metrics that go into this. The secret sauce that spits these out. So it's not like Nades is putting this up there or I'm putting this up there. This is all metrics based. And so these are the best pitchers. And you look at that. If you're on sometimes, obviously Chris Sale's going to be, everybody's, top 1 or 2, but it's the guys like, I'm going to use Bobby Miller, for example. I don't know if he's up there or not, but if he's top 5 and we're on him, then yeah, we're going to lock and load. So always looking at this, always looking at the hitter rankings. You can find diamonds in the rough. I'll go back to last Sunday. We were all over the Mariners on Sunday against the Pirates. Mariners happened to be on the winner. I had a bunch of Mariners on my team Sunday. No one else in the industry was on the Mariners. So not only is our stuff unique, when we're right, we're really right. And that's what I love about all of our stuff, especially our projections, is that, like I said, the Mariners, and then we just popped off last Sunday with them, and a lot of us were in the winner's circle.
Not to mention, right, they're updated in real time, and you can see the timestamp right here every time stuff is updated. You saw, right, I just refreshed, just went to 3:35 p.m. here overall. So, yeah, excellent breakdown there. But let's continue talking on the slate here. I will go ahead and work the screen share here as much as possible. But let me pull up the next game on the slate. So we hit on the first couple games, right? The Rockies, the Astros, the Orioles, the Angels, Blue Jays. This next game is in Fenway here. Red Sox and the Dbacks. Nelson on the mound, who is very, very bad against lefties, especially over the last month here. Now the Dbacks get the Red Sox team, right? Tons of lefty power in that lineup. There is, 6 confirmed lefties in this lineup. Overall, Red Sox implied to score over 5 runs. minus 130 favorites here. I know you mentioned Nelson in terms of what he's done in terms of the game logs over the last 4. I think this is a spot where these Red Sox lefties are pretty sneaky here. It's good hitting weather, wind blowing out in Fenway there. And then the D-backs on the same regard, lefties against Bello. I think this is an interesting game on both sides. I like both these offenses here quite a bit, but talk to the people. Any interest in D-backs or Red Sox for you?
I'm kind of shocked that this number is where it is. I mean, I'm with you. It's like you look at this, you see the Red Sox at home against Nelson. You think they're just going to blow them out, but they're only minus 130. That tells me there's going to be a lot of runs in this game, Nades. I don't think it's going to be a 3-2 type of game. So I really like it. I think the Diamondbacks just got out of Miami, if I'm not mistaken, and hit the crap out of the baseball in Miami. They've been swinging a hot stick. Jake McCarthy went yard the other day. Jock Jams has been doing well. Josh Bell, this Del Castillo kid. So yeah, I'm with you. I said it earlier. I like Nelson. If you're playing, I would say 8+ teams, I would throw him on one. I would also play the Red Sox too. I mean, my boy Jaron Duran, Rafael Devers. I love those two guys because they're never going to get pinch hit for. Abreu and Cassis can get pinch hit for. Tyler O'Neill's not going to get pinch hit for. That's the one thing with the Red Sox you got to be careful of is if it gets out of hand or if it gets close, they're going to platoon those guys. It's frustrating as hell, but Devers and Duran are never going to do that, and they can both hit bombs, and Duran can obviously steal tons of bases. So I like these lefties. I like David Hamilton if he's in there down at the 8 or 9 spot. No one's going to play him. So, yeah, I like these Red Sox. And then I haven't seen a confirmed Diamondbacks, but I'm going to play some of them tonight as well, especially the lefties against Bello. It looks like there's the 8 in the projected lineup, Nate, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so there's 7 in the confirmed lineup. The D-backs lineup did just get confirmed. Gurriel and Suarez are the only 2 righties outside, obviously, the switch hitters. But 7 out of the 9 hitters are from the left side of the plate. 6 of the 9 hitters on the Red Sox are from the left side of the plate against 2 pitchers who struggle against lefties and fly ball concerns out in Fenway. I like this game a ton. Our stack rankings, which is another tool over here at The Nation, you can see likes this game a ton. They're ranked 4th and 5th on the slate of 14 games. They're projected, and if you look at the stack ownership, right, projected as a stack 4 points behind those Yankees at significantly lower ownership. That's another way you can use these tools here. So given everybody in the chat, I see there's about 140 watching there. Hit the like button for this content. This is the kind of content you get over here at The Nation. We got it for every sport. Obviously, we're breaking it down for MLB right now, but same thing, NFL right around the corner. We have stack rankings. We have defense versus position rankings. We obviously have the slate plan, the player pools, but we also have the stone, which we showcased earlier. All of this for about $65 a month, I believe, all encompassing right now, $64.99 for all sports, including the optimizer, I believe is the price right now over here. Football package only, $2.99 right now until September 5th, the early bird. Next game on the slate here is a game that I think we can speed up the pace. It's the Cubs. It's the Marlins. Max Meyer on the hill. Kyle Hendricks on the hill. Cubs maybe against Max Meyer because he's just not a great pitcher, but it's a terrible ballpark, 14-game slate. It's a game that I don't think I have much interest in, if any, but any interest for you in the Cubs and the Marlins?
Yeah, no, I don't think any Marlins for me. I mean, it would be Jake Berger. I haven't built lineups yet, but Jake Berger has been doing very well. Jesus looks good tonight. Jesus Sanchez, and then, man, these Cubs, gosh, they're just so painful. They have power. I feel like they just don't ever get there, Nate. So yeah, probably no Cubs. Not in this ballpark. I think there's just better options tonight with better matchups. Max Meyer's not any good, but I don't think I'll be getting any Cubbies tonight. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, just pulling up the Cubs here on Shiptimizer. I mean, an Ian Happ, a Michael Busch, Sia Suzuki, I think are interesting. But yeah, not the ballpark I want to play teams from. I'm not going to stack either side of this game. So I think we can move on. Another game that I don't have much interest in terms of offense, the Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Guardians. Tanner Beebe on the hill, Nathan Eovaldi on the hill, 2 pitchers that I think are good real-life pitchers. I just didn't like them in relative to the slate at their salaries. But any interest in any of these Texas bats outside of maybe a Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, or Corey Seager? I think you can play one-off elite bat one-offs in this game, but outside of that, not a game I'm looking to stack up here. How about you?
Yeah, same. Let's just pass on this one. Yeah, Seager one-off, Ramirez one-off, but not stacking either side.
Not stacking either side here. Jumping to another game, Nationals and the Braves. Chris Sale on the hill, Mackenzie Gore on the hill. Is it going to be any Braves for you against a lefty here, a decent real-life lefty in Mackenzie Gore? And then I think it's safe to say no Nationals for you against Chris Sale. I just didn't like the strikeout upside for Sale. I get it. He has a massive strikeout ability. I just don't like the matchup here for the Nationals, who just don't strike out on the road against lefties at his 11-1 price point. But any bats here, mainly on the Atlanta side for you?
Yeah, someone pointed it out earlier, but yeah, no CJ Abrams, which obviously hurts them. But I mean, everybody I feel like is in low double digits on the Ks. They don't have any power, so I think Sale gets through 7 or 8 innings tonight for sure. And then on the flip side, not going to be picking on Mackenzie Gore. I think this is his first game back in quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. But not stacking these Braves. It would be Marcell Ozuna as a one-off. No, McKenzie's been back for quite some time, but it'd be Marcell Ozuna as a one-off, but I'm not picking on McKenzie tonight.
Yeah, I'll bring up a couple more names, 2 value bats. Ramon Laureano, 2,800 outfield. He's got a lot of power, especially against left-handed pitching. He's hitting 5th here tonight behind Olsen. I like him. And then Sean Murphy, another guy here who is pretty cheap. I just got to let me refresh the Shiptimizer here. But, that confirmed lineup did come out. TDA was anticipated to start there. Sean Murphy's getting the start. 3,700, another lefty that has or another batter that has a lot of power against left-handed hitting. But, I'm not going to 5-man the Braves despite their total. Just mini stacks I think are interesting. Ozuna, Soler, Laureano. Those 3 would probably be my favorite. And then you can add in a Sean Murphy, I think. But outside of that, not a game I'm going to get to for too many bats. But this next game is an interesting one here. The Tigers are projected to be roughly the highest owned stack in terms of the slate for historically a pretty brutal offense over the course of the season. However, they got lefties here that match the baseball. They're facing one of the worst bullpens in baseball, right? The White Sox, and arguably one of the worst, if not the worst, starting pitcher on the slate in Chris Flexen here. Talk to me. Are you going to the Detroit Tigers here in Chicago? And then any White Sox against Montero, which I don't have interest, but maybe you have some interest here.
Yeah, let's start on the Chicago first. Yeah, no thank you for the White Sox. And then the 2 lefty mashers that I would take would be Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green if they're in the lineup. I've not seen it out. Parker Meadows, maybe, but man, if you're telling me they're going to be the highest owned stack, I'm assuming that's due to price and obviously in matchup a little bit. I'll pass on that, 10 out of 10 times if they're going to be number 1, but it would be one off if anything, and then no White Sox for me, I don't think.
Yeah, I like the lefties here for the Tigers. I like I said, ownership in terms of the hitters outside of, realistically, ownership doesn't matter in terms of bats too much. I would just be worried to play the Tigers and or the Blue Jays when I'm playing, if I'm doing a double spend with Rodon and Chris Sale, because I think that's what everybody does, right? If I just go ahead and let's just do it for the sake of the show here. Let me just set the stacks here, build settings. Right. Let me go back to build settings here. And let's do a 5-5-3 or a 5-2 here. Say 100%, right? And just hit build. Hold on. Let me just do this. Let me do a build. Let me lock in Chris Sale and Rodon and just see. And I'm pretty certain it's going to be 5 Tigers or 5 Blue Jays when I do that, but let's just see what it looks like. Yeah, so there you go. There you have it, right? Blue Jays or the Yankees, right? The Tigers or the Yankees, right? Blue Jays mini here, one off, right, with Ernie Clement, Will Wagner. Mini stack Blue Jays, 5-man stack of the Tigers. That's why I'm saying if you're going Sale, you're going Rodon, which I wouldn't fault anyone for. I would just be worrisome to play the Tigers to play the Blue Jays because you're going to have very similar teams to pretty much everybody else outside of a 1v1 one-off or something like that. So didn't want to mention that. But, yeah, for me, I like the lefties and the Tigers, much like everybody else. Sounds like I have a little bit more interest in those Tigers. I like Riley Green. I like Kerry Carpenter. I like the shortstop, right? Trey Sweeney, I think, is an interesting play. Jace Young is super cheap. So I have more interest in the Tigers than you do, but no interest in the other bats here. What's the next game on the slate? I have the Phillies and the Royals, another interesting game here. Talk to people, any KC for you, any Phillies with guaranteed ninth inning at bats in arguably the best hitting park outside of Fenway, probably on the slate here in Kauffman Stadium.
Another day ending in wide, Nades. We're playing these Royals at home against Taijuan Walker. Love them tonight. Love the other side as well. I think those Phillies bats kind of got silenced for the most part in Atlanta over the last couple of days, but now they get to go to this great ballpark, still get 27 outs. Waka Flocka Flame, been prone to give up the long ball in his career. And these Phillies have been known to mash the baseball, notably Kyle Schwarber. Is great play, in my opinion. I really like him tonight, would be the number one. And then it'd really just be those top-end guys is kind of what I'd be kind of focusing on.
Yeah, I will say the Royals are probably my second favorite stack on the slate here tonight. Over the last week, they've been the best team in baseball in terms of WOBA. And if you look at Taijuan Walker's numbers here, he shouldn't be in this rotation for the Phillies. I think it's just the nature of their pitching is just loaded, right? So they just keep trotting this guy out there. He's got a 372 WOBA to lefties and equally as bad to the righties with a ton of fly ball power to right-handed hitters. I really like these Royals a ton. I like them all. I prefer the lefties to start, but then obviously Bobby Witt, Bobby Slam, Salvador Perez, Hunter Renfroe's got a nice price point. Adam Frazier's really cheap. Paul DeJong, Mr. D Jam himself, I like a ton here. He's hitting 8th at 3,200 at third base. My boy Kyle Isbell, nobody plays him. I really like a wraparound, reach around, stroke around, whatever you want to call it, Friday night fun here with some Royals. Give me the Royals, my second favorite stack. I really, really like the wraparound stack for the Royals here tonight. And then the Phillies, I think, are interesting against Waka Flocka Flame and company here. They're going to be super low owned. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in baseball here. Schwarber, Harper, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, like all those guys, a decent amount, but much prefer the Royals in this game. Next game on the slate, Cardinals and the Twins here. Palante, David Festa on the mound, two pitchers we didn't mention, but any interest in terms of offense here? The Twins do look pretty good in terms of the stone and their numbers at home against right-handed pitching here.
Yeah, I generally love these. Generally love these Twins, and I kind of do tonight. Man, that Cardinals bullpen is just lights out. It's if they're not getting to them early, it could be tough sledding. It would be the Twins only for me. Not playing these Cardinals, I don't think, on the road tonight. Yeah, not playing the Cardinals. Royce Lewis popping off the page over here. Matty Ice looks good, but he just strikes out too much. He's tough to play, but yeah, Royce Lewis for sure in the player pool.
Yeah, Royce Lewis, I think, is the elite one off on the slate. I don't mind a Twins stack. I think I like the minis more, right? A Willie Castro who just puts the ball in play, but I just don't love his price point at 4,500 at shortstop. Shortstop's a loaded position here. I think a Larnach Royce Lewis or a Warner Royce Lewis, I think is an interesting player. Even Ryan Jeffers, right, and Royce Lewis. I think any of those top four hitters are interesting. Max Kepler, I think, is interesting as well down there in the 7th spot at 3,500. And then on the Cardinals side, Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado, who's starting to hit the baseball lately. But I think David Festa is a good enough real-life arm that keeps me off these Cardinals enough outside of just a one-off or something like a Burleson or a Wilson Contreras. But outside of that, not going to get to this spot here. Next game on the slate here, it's the the Brewers. It's the Athletics here in Oakland. JP Sears, Aaron Savale. You had interest in Sears. I had interest in Savale. I think this is the game that you can cross off. Outside of, I got to do it to you, Hamich, Gary Dirty Sanchez and company against the lefty here. Talk to the people.
If you play Gary Sanchez tonight, just close the laptop about 7 o'clock. Call it a night because you won't be on the winners. Gary Sanchez, Alex Verdugo. That's your home run parlay of the day, Nate. Go ahead and lock that in. Gary Sanchez will be lucky to get the ball out of the infield. Same with Alex Verdugo. Two of the worst plays on the slate. So no interest in either team. JP Sears mows them down. Gary Sanchez will get his walk, and he'll get your 2 points that you want. And then for some reason, he'll hit a ninth inning bomb when it's out of reach, and then Nates will start spamming me in the chat. So I'm prepared for that.
Yeah, I will say you can always play Gary Sanchez against left-handed pitcher. I don't love the ballpark. I don't love the spot at 3,500. I like other catchers too, but I think he's fine. He looks good on the stone with his numbers. Outside of that, not going to get this game in terms of stacks on either side. Don't love the park. Don't love the matchups. More of the same here in the next game. Paul Blackburn on the hill for the Mets here, and Joe Musgrove on the hill for the Padres here. Another spot where I don't love it for offense here, but maybe you see something I'm missing here. Padres and the Mets.
Yeah, I don't mind these Mets as a sneaky team. I mean, they got to Cease last night. They're rocking and rolling right now, acting a fool, hitting walk-off home runs and stuff, and they go out west and, beat these contenders. I mean, what else can you say about your boy Mark Vientos? Just been absolutely ripping the cover off the baseball. And if the Mets put up as much runs as they did last night, against Cease, I think Cease is a much better pitcher than Musgrove. We don't love the park generally, but I don't Musgrove doesn't scare me. Give me these Mets as like have a sneaky stack. And then the Padres, goodness gracious, they just are never on the winner. I mean, it would be Cronenworth as a one-off only for me. I'm not full stacking this team, but I do like the Mets.
Yeah, I think the Mets are fine, right? Lindor, Vientos, Nemo. As you can see here on the stone, I think those guys are fine, but mini stacks only. And then, I'm not playing the Padres here against Blackburn. I get it. Blackburn, got blown up last start, I believe, or the start before that. It's just hard for me to play the Padres on a massive slate, despite the winning streak they went on over the last month or so. We're now coming down the stretch. We got about a month left of the season, right? September 29th, I believe, is the last day, or September 30th is the last day of the regular season here. So coming down the stretch, Padres are in a tight race, right, with the Dbacks, the Dodgers. Just not a spot for DFS that I want to get to on this slate here. 2 games left to talk about. One game that's interesting that is not this game. The Giants and the Mariners offense in this one, pretty weak, pretty gross. It's a very good pitcher's ballpark here. I like both pitchers a ton. I like pairing these pitchers together a ton. Castillo, Birdsong. I'm not going to get to any of these hitters. Both these teams strike out too much for me, but any Mariners interest for you?
Yep, easy pass. We like both pitchers, so no thank you for me.
All right, no thank you for you. That takes us to the last game of the slate here. Friday night Dodgers back in our lives against Tyler Alexander and company here. These Rays, they're a no for me. You had interest in Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller ranks pretty good in our pitcher rankings, top 7 over here at the nation in terms of our pitcher rankings, as you see here, pitcher ranking over here. But Tyler Alexander ranks second last in terms of our pitcher rankings against these Dodgers here. Lefty-lefty matchups for Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy of the world. They're going to keep the ownership low overall. I think they're interesting plays. They can all hit lefties, as you can see here. The rest of the team, right? Will Smith can smash lefties. Tio Hernandez, Mookie Betts, right? Hashtag always Mookie. Mookie's back in this lineup. Dodgers are getting healthy. Any Dodgers interest for you here tonight at these massive salaries?
Yeah, I love the Dodgers, man. It's similar to who were we talking about earlier? It's just tough to full stack them. I forget who the team was. Maybe the Yankees. It's just tough to full stack them. And if you can get a good pitchers, you're gonna have to play the Hayden Birdsongs of the world and Monteros to get them. But yeah, give me these late night Dodgers. I don't mind the lefty-lefty matchup with Ohtani. So, yeah, all over the Dodgers. It's just a matter of can you fit them in your lineup. It would be the top-end guys. Once again, I hate, if a guy's going to sacrifice bunt or get pinch hit for, it's just so tilting when that happens. So I would try to get the guys that wouldn't, aren't going to be doing that.
I would say you're safe 1 through 6. Obviously, Max Muncy's this pricing is pulling different here. There's obviously 2 guys named Max Muncy here. But yeah, I would say the Tommy Edmonds, the Rojas, the Chris Taylors of the world are going to get pinch hit for. Obviously, once Alexander gets hit out of this game, more than likely, and a righty comes in out of that pen. So I would stick to the top 6. The Ohtani's the best, the Freemans, the Smiths, the Hernandez, and the Muncies of the world. Those guys are safe from pinch hit, I would say. I think the Dodgers are an interesting stack. They definitely make my list in terms of top 5 for stack offenses here. Late night hammer as well against Alexander and company here. And then, yeah, no Rays interest for me. I'm not going to play the Tampa Bay Rays on a 14-game slate. Wow, we made it in an hour and 1 minute. We talked and showcased a little behind the curtain for the people here in the chat on this Friday. We're feeling generous here. We broke down and went through the Stone Premium tool over here at the Nation. We broke down our stack, our hitter, our pitcher rankings. We showcased the Shiptimizer. We showcased everything over here at the Nation. Now it takes us to the end of the show and our home run calls here. Hamwich, I'm going to kick it over to you. Give the people the home run call of the evening.
I got 3, Nate. How many we giving them today? Was 1 or 2?
Go ahead. You can roll the die. Roll them all 3. Go ahead. Give them.
Roll them all 3. I'm gonna give you 2 layups, and then I'm gonna take a shot from deep, Steph style. So the 2 layups: Royce Lewis, Big Bad Bobby Witt. They'll definitely go bomb. And then my 3/4 courts shot. I'm gonna go with my homeboy coming from Denver from the Mile High City to the Big Apple, baby. It's Michael Toglia to go deep tonight. I like all 3 of those guys.
Oh, little Toglia action here. Hitting 5th against the Chalk, Carlos Rodon and company. It is good hitting weather there in Yankee Stadium. All right. You gave 3. I'm just going to give 1 for the people so they don't think we just list every hitter on the show to help pad our stats in terms of home run success rates on the show here. But I'm going to go to the Detroit Tigers here. I'm going to not G. Risen's boy, Spencer Torkelson, stroke his meat. Good luck to him out there in Chicago. I know a bunch of the crews going to Chicago to that live final out there. Good luck to Scarface, Jerry, a.k.a., and our boy Rio Hebrew Cheetah in the live final for DraftKings out there. But I'm going to Kerry Carpenter, 4,200 outfield lefty. Love Kerry Carpenter here tonight. He ranks 6th in terms of our hitter rankings. That's going to do it for the show. We appreciate all the interaction. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Any closing remarks for the people of Hamwich? NFL right around the corner. Talk to the people a little bit about what NFL looks like over here at the Nation.
Yeah, certainly will. And Warren Tyler, man, Verdugo goes deep, baby. Hit us up, info at SHIPIT Nation for that Monday ticket. But, yeah, I mean, our NFL package, second to none, $2.99 for everything. I said it earlier, $3.99 for college football alone. It's not just an NFL package. It's college football, which we got our boy D-Gen over here in the SHIPIT Nation house. If you haven't seen his video, all of our videos are free. Make sure you're checking that out. It is top-notch for week 0 if it's in your state. I can't wait to get started. I mean, numerous Millie Maker winners last year over here. Showdown, regular. So can't wait to start talking. It's 2 Sundays away, Nades, is when the NFL season starts on that Sunday. So can't wait. Head on over to SHIPIT Nation. Enter that promo code NFL50. Get you $50 off down to $2.99.
Get you down to $2.99. I dropped D-Gen's college football video, which is right here on the channel, covering the 3-game slate tomorrow for week 0. Obviously, week 1 starts next week. We got you covered. No additional cost for college football, and it's, hey, not available everywhere, but 30 out of the 50 states, right, do have college football DFS access. It's growing. It's amazing. Tons of money to be made, and it helps rolling in to Sunday when you have a nice profitable Saturday for free money weekend. Not just free money Sunday anymore, Title. It's free money weekend with the football package over here at the Nation. Hamwich and I will be back for football in terms of the Sunday Night Football Showdown show as well. the same crew here, but that's going to do it here. And MLB tonight, 14 games. We broke it all down. Content's up over at the site for premium members. For Hamwich, I'm Nades. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those logos at the top. Let's ship it.